Welcome to Say Like a Champ episode 255. It's your boy A-Dub.
Hey, boy, Trizzy, what's up, SLAC fam? Welcome back, baby.
What it do? Back in the building. Another week in sports. Another episode of SLAC with your boys. And as always, we appreciate y'all being here with us, rocking with us each and every week. 255 weeks strong now. That's what's up. Strizzy fam, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. You know what I'm saying? That's you know what I'm saying? We're inching towards the start of the football season, man. So as you know, I'm excited for it. But aside from that, you know what I'm saying? Same stuff, different day. How about you?
Yeah, pretty much same. You know, busy day to day, just kind of juggling a lot of different things and getting it together. But always good to be able to sit down and chill with our fam and talk a little bit of sports. So we are excited for that. Speaking of fam, we got Unc in the building early. Hello from Texas. What's good, Unc? We got Kelly as well. Happy Tuesday. And we got Pops in the building as well. Evening. Nice. So I think we are going to make history on the show, 255 episodes strong, but we're going to do something we've never done before. I think this is going to be a first. But before we do, Stephanie Washington, welcome in. Definitely glad to have you with us. And yeah, we are going to start off with a little bit of baseball. Actually, we never really start with baseball. I don't think we've ever started with baseball, but it's day to day, you know what I'm saying? The All Star Game going on, and a lot of funny stuff happening last night with the anthem that we'll get to as well. But we did have the home run derby. We did have our props, and I just want to say how disappointed I am in Pete Alonso. I had faith in this dude, and he came out weak in the home run derby. But also watching it, I guess this is something we've always known too, but the pitcher that pitches to you is just as important, as important as the batter, for sure.
For sure.
If they can lay him in there nice and easy and just take all the stress off the batter where they can just do their normal swing and it's just flying out, that's what's up. But shout out to Teoscar Hernandez. He was actually a late addition. He only announced on Sunday that he was going to enter, or 2 days, maybe Saturday night. Yeah. So he ended up winning. And then shout out to Bobby Witt Jr., the hometown Royal superstar. That he showed out, he got second place and was just really close. The way they did it was kind of exciting. He was really close to actually winning it. So
no, man. Like you said, the pitching thing. I was a little worried about Bobby's pitcher at first too, because what I mean. It was a little awkward. And but shout out to Hernandez too, man. He was actually essentially last, if you will, in the books to win the thing. So he had the highest odds, if you will. So. For anybody who put their money on Teoscar, man, that's huge. So shout out to him, man. That's a big deal. Nobody really had him winning. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, he just jumped in, and they kept saying at the beginning, he's always wanted to do one. He's always wanted to do one. So he's just happy to be here, and he ended up showing out. So that was dope. Also to see some of his home runs were long, but I think Ozuna might have hit the longest one. He hit one 470 or something crazy like that. And the way that the ballpark there is in Texas, some of them were going out to the walkway areas and stuff, out of the whole stands.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that was dope to see. Kelly asked, do they all have the same pitcher? So no. So they bring their pitcher with them. So you get to choose who's pitching to you. And so normally they choose somebody that they're comfortable with or that does the BP for the team. And it's kind of a cool thing because they get a trip to the All Star Game too. They get to roll out. So. You get to pick which pitcher you bring with you. So I definitely think some of those pitchers made it a lot easier on the guys than others, for sure.
Yep.
Unc says we need to do a episode from Puerto Rico next summer. That's what's up.
Yeah, let me know.
You think you were just down there? Would that be feasible?
Yeah. Honestly, I felt like my my phone worked better there than it did out here.
Oh, dang.
Oh, God, dude. It's actually kind of crazy. But I do know that for a fact of I think it's the phone the major company out there is actually T-Mobile. I think they have the most towers out there, so it actually makes sense that my phone did work so well out there. But yeah, man, I don't think I was ever at any point struggling for service. It was actually pretty cool.
Dang, that's what's up. That's what's up. So yeah, we'll have to look into that, Unc. If you're ready to be the first sponsor of Say Like a Champ, you know what I'm saying? maybe we can work something out. But no, that's what's up. Um, all right. Also along the same lines of MLB, we do have the All Star Game going on tonight. Skeens, he has been great since coming up at the beginning of this year. He started off as in the farm system. He did not start on the major league roster. Now, and I think he was like, I don't know, something crazy like 200-1 odds to win the Cy Young. Now he's actually the Cy Young favorite, and I think I don't know if it's exactly the record. I'm gonna have to double check, but set a record, I think, for strikeouts in his first however many innings. But definitely coming out blazing so far. So he's actually gone from being in AAA at the beginning of the year to now starting the All Star Game, which is super dope. Talk to me a little bit about Skeens, like how he's been able to dominate so far.
It's funny, man. I think the Pirates have actually done an amazing job too of bringing him on too, not really kind of forcing him to pitch too many times, too many pitches. They don't want to wear him out too fast, and I think it was just a couple games ago. Actually, I think he had pitched like, man, I don't know, 12, 13 strikeouts, something like that. And he had pitched like a no-hitter or something like that, something really close to it. And instead of letting him go the full like 100 pitches as they normally do for the starting pitcher for your ace or whatever, they pulled him early. And there are a couple of people who were upset about it, but if you're a Pittsburgh fan and you want to see this dude have a long career and not destroy that elbow or shoulder too soon, like it was definitely the right call. But yeah, man, he's been an absolute monster. I talk about the odds or whatever, but the odds just for, I think it was not even Cy Young, like the odds for just like Rookie of the Year weren't even he was like plus 2,000, so like even that for them wasn't too high. And now he's looking like he's gonna get both, like he's gonna get Rookie of the Year and the Cy Young, which would be crazy, you know what I mean? So dude's pitching 102-mile-per-hour fastballs, which is insane. So I don't know, man. They definitely got their ace, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. But that's a great point about how they are kind of bringing him along slowly. I think he's had 2 times where he's gone 7 innings, no hits, and then they've kind of taken him out. And I agree. Like in the old school days, or if this guy is further into his career, we're letting him go for a no. Like they're gonna let him try to finish that thing out. But they are doing it the right way with him, and that's super legit. Probably gonna get the NL Cy Young. So that's crazy.
Yeah,
from just a prospect to now like doing it at the big leagues. And sometimes though too with pitchers, which I mean we'll see the longevity, but sometimes they do catch people off guard a little bit at the beginning of their career because like people aren't used to their stuff, and then you see them over and over and you kind of get to figure it out. But that'll be his next challenge. But so far he's adjusted to the big leagues really well. So that's what's up. Welcome in, moms. Hi, friends. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you being here with us. Unc says he's already saving for next summer, so maybe there'll be a little bit in the budget, you know what I'm saying? Make something happen. That's what's up. I think right now the game is going on. It's 3-3 in the bottom of the third, so some exciting happenings already. But Skeens did start the game, and he pitched. He puts up all zeros against the top 3 hitters from the AL. But then he's already out now. And that's one thing that's kind of hard about the All-Star Game is you're just going to get a little bit of time. It's not like a normal game. Exactly. So you got to make the most of your opportunities, but it looks like he did. So shout out to him. All right. Speaking of the All-Star Game and the festivities, last night we had the Home Run Derby National Anthem, which I don't know her last name, but Ingrid something, which I was gonna check. Like I wanted to check with you, and I wanted to check with our slackers. Like if anybody had like heard her music before. I think she was like 3-time Grammy nominated, never Grammy winner. But put up possibly the worst national anthem, at least like nationally publicized national anthem. Obviously there's a lot that we don't hear, right, or we never would know about. But in a big spot with all the festivities, that was really bad. Strizzy, did you see it live, or have you heard about it since then?
Yeah, man, I saw it. I know Fergie's happy, dog. You know what I'm saying? I know she's like finally somebody else came off and did a worse job than me. I feel like at a certain point, like I don't know. I guess you've heard their music or you're comfortable with their music. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, oh, it can't be too bad, right? You know what I mean? I don't know, but like, did they hear her beforehand, like rehearsing, and you know what I'm saying? Like it was
right. Yeah, I was watching it live and it was so funny because at first I was just like, it's kind of in the background, like I wasn't like paying that close attention, and I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds a little bit off, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it really did sound like like a not even a Friday night karaoke. It sounded like a Tuesday, Wednesday night karaoke session
Like you shouldn't be
rendition.
there.
Exactly, like not the karaoke pros, because some people get down with the karaoke, but
For
this was
sure.
like her friends dared her and she was like, all right, whatever, and went up there. Stephanie Washington says not worse than Fergie. But yeah, I was gonna mention this too. Kelly says never heard of him. I saw she just checked into rehab, and yeah, so she came out with a statement today, basically saying that she apologized, that she was drunk during the performance, and that wasn't the representation she wanted to put out there, and she was checking herself into rehab. I kind of feel like that might be damage control. I feel like that might be an excuse, like to try to get off the hook for how bad it was.
For sure.
But it did sound like she was trying to go for a style of some sort and just was like trying to make it like a super cool version, and it just came out terrible. Like, I don't know. And I'm sure she was drunk.
People gotta stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just sing the anthem. Just sing the anthem. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a music artist. We know you to be a music artist. Just go out there and sing it in your voice. You know what I mean? Like, you don't gotta do nothing crazy. God, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I know, it's funny. It's like I feel like it's like you're not Jimi Hendrix. Like, he was playing it with a guitar.
Exactly.
So he could do whatever, you know what I'm saying? He could make it funky. He could change it up. You know what I'm saying? When you're singing it, and I think that was like what Fergie was going for too. Like, when you're singing it, you can't really do that because we're just, I don't know. It just doesn't come across. So
man, I totally get what you're saying. I completely agree too. Like you said, there are certain musicians who do it, you know what I mean, but they're doing it with an instrument. So you said you could do it a little different, but when you're singing it now, leave it alone.
Yeah, for sure. So that was good stuff though. But yeah, we'll see. Want to welcome in Grace to the show.
Grace.
Welcome, Grace. Appreciate you being here with us as always. Unc says big mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Pop says unless she knows Sheryl Crow. Grace says singing rehab. That's what I think. I think she's going to singing camp. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to put her behind the public eye until they can teach her how to actually sing. So we'll see. But that was fun stuff. But it's almost probably been good for her in a weird way. Like, she probably got some boost on some streaming numbers or something like that, because people will be checking her out now. But her name is Ingrid Andress. So yeah, we'll see. That's so funny though. But it looks like pretty much for the consensus from the panel is that we had not heard of her before now. So we'll see how long her little moment of fame lasts, or if there's a worse one. But I think she's going to be probably the leader in the clubhouse for a little while right now. So
for a little while.
We'll see. And if you haven't heard it, you should check it out. Just don't make sure the volume's not too loud. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to hurt your ears. But all right, that's what we got for MLB. And I wanted to keep it moving here. A little bit of NBA talk we'll go to next. Jalen Brunson. So not a lot of big contract moves or any free agent moves. Now we're in I think week 3 or 4. So most everything that's going to happen has happened already. But Brunson actually took a year early. He took a 4-year, $156 million extension. And they were talking about how basically he technically left $133 million on the table because next summer he would have been eligible for a 4-year extension, $133 million more. So it would have been like 200 something. What do you think about, obviously he's rocking the shirt New York forever. It sounds like he wants to be there and he's taking a cut for the team. But what did you think about Jalen Brunson doing this with the contract?
I feel like it was entirely too stupid. It was too much for me. Like, don't get me wrong, I completely I respect it. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big deal. You know what I mean? There are not a lot of players who are, that selfless to be like, I want the team to be able to go out there and make this team as good as we can possibly be, right? Like, that's a monstrous pay cut. You know what I mean? Like, D Wade took a pay cut so that Braun and Bosch could they could pay them a little bit extra more, and he did that multiple times so they could keep that team together, right? But it wasn't nothing of that significance, right? Braun talking about taking a pay cut for if they could go and get DeMar DeRozan or something like that, and he took a $2 million pay cut or something like that. But that's not that big of a deal, you know what I mean? But I just felt like for him, it's it's a lot of money, especially 1 year too early. Like he technically didn't have to do that until next season. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know for a fact they're going to re-sign him, right? So like, for me, it was like, I get it. I understand why you do it, because you guys were really good last year, and due to some health problems, like you probably would have been in the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying? Like, or possibly,
yeah.
But you got oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on his name. He was injured. What's up?
Oh no, who was that? Who was injured? You said
the power forward that was out.
Randall?
Randall, yeah, Julius Randall. So Julius Randall being out all last season and him coming back, like I feel like he can only help. But I'm starting to wonder too, like, does he still fit with this team, right?
Now they got Bridges and OG and everything.
Exactly. So we'll kind of see. Like, I mean, I can't imagine him making the team worse, because he, at the end of the day, like he's still he's an aggressive player. Like he's gonna get those rebounds. Maybe he doesn't need to pass the ball as much anymore. Like he's not gonna play a Draymond role, but Brunson takes a lot of shots. Like when it comes down to it, he's definitely their ultimate scorer. So I like it in a sense of selflessness, but from a personal or player standpoint, I'm like, dog, you took way too much less, way too early too. You just didn't need to do that yet.
Yeah, exactly. I feel it, and that's
he could have done it next year. Honestly, and like it doesn't make much of a difference this year. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, that's the sneaky part, because like I get it, like what he's helping, and Unk says huge sacrifice to improve the team, which it will be and it could be down the line depending on how things go. But the one thing too is like the sneaky part about it is he gets paid a year earlier, because he was only like making like he was only going to make like $15 million this next year, and then he was going to get his big contract after next summer. But now he's going to be getting like $40 million this year. So I feel like maybe he has some bills coming up. He's like, you know what? I'll just go ahead and get my payday now, even though it's going to be less in the long run. But I think that was his only reason why he was like, let me do it now. But I agree with you. Like he could have still seen how it played out this year with all the pieces, and then got his contract and got the most money out of it. But I think that's the only part where they're like, oh, he left this money. He left like $113 million on the table. It's like, well, we're not factoring out like he's going to make more money this year. So it's kind of a little bit of a help for him too.
Yeah, definitely see that. But I also feel like with the season that he had last year, I feel like those endorsements had to double. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like, so I feel like in regards to not necessarily his NBA check, but just the check from the outside of the NBA, I feel like those definitely had to go up. You know what I mean? So I get you though. Like 15 million is a lot different than 40 plus.
Yeah.
But next year that's closer to 50 million. You know what I'm saying? 50 million.
True.
So it's
and
like,
that's I can see
crazy.
That though.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Definitely a lot of money. It's hard for me though to feel bad for anybody making 39 million a year. And I'm supposed to be like, dang, dog, you could have got, but I get it though. I get it too, because when they're talking a whole different, especially when it's guaranteed money. You sign that paper, it's yours.
Right.
So that is a whole different thing. But we'll see. But that's another great point from you, Strizzy. I mean, it's like those endorsement deals, being in New York, being in one of the media capitals of the world, that's gotta help him on the other side too. So he ain't dumb. He did it for a reason. He's got it figured out. But also it makes him look like a great guy as far as team.
It does. And his dad's a part of that coaching staff too. So it's probably the same thing where it's like, it just kind of helps, you know what I'm saying, with your family on staff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. He's getting people paid in the family too.
Yeah.
So it's all good. But no, that's what's up. One other move that I was hoping the Lakers could figure out a way to maybe sign, but they're gonna have to cut since their roster is full, is Gary Trent Jr. I think he was like the last of the potential, impact makers out there. He did end up signing a 1-year deal with the Bucks. So it looks like he'll try to go over there and be a part of what they're doing, and then maybe go into free agency again and kind of build himself back up for a bigger bag next year. But you like that though, Gary Trent Jr. with the Bucks?
I do. I mean, for the Bucks, so they need it. I was looking at their current active roster right now, and it's not looking very good. You know what I'm saying? Like aside from Dame and Giannis, you know what I'm saying? The rest of that roster right now is not looking too great. I don't even think Malik Beasley is no longer under contract with them either. I think he's now out there as well. But who was big for the 3-point shooter for them last year?
That's another player I was like, the freaking Lakers can go get him for so cheap.
For sure.
I think Beasley, though, I think he ended up going to the Pistons on a 1-year deal.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, you're right. He's gone.
Because I think he averaged, no, not average. I'm sorry. He had the most 3-point games last season of any other player. So like no other player scored more 5 3-pointer games than he did. So he had a great shooting year last year. So again, yeah, you're right. Like Lakers would have had another nice knockdown shooter for them, veteran too at that.
Right.
So I think for the Bucks, like that's definitely a big pickup for them. Someone that they can go out there and dish the ball out to create space for both Giannis and Dame. So yeah, huge pickup for them, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely slow though on the NBA news. We definitely have Team USA who they came out and they did their thing against Canada, which is always kind of a fun matchup because they got Dylan the villain, of course. You know what I'm saying? And him and LeBron going against each other anytime is kind of a little bit of extra something in there. But they did good against Canada. And then they actually came out, they were stomping Australia. And then Australia had like a little bit of a late run, which Australia is another really, really solid international team. But Team USA is still doing their prep work. Right now they're out in Dubai. And they're kind of making their way towards Paris, or they're doing their little globe-trotting thing. So pretty cool stuff there, though. But I don't know. I guess the only impressions I have so far from USA basketball is like big shout out to our boy from Minnesota because he's still taking the lead. Anthony Edwards, like even amongst the veterans, like he still seems like the spark plug on that team, which is pretty good to see.
No, for sure. I actually agree with that, and I think part of it too is like I feel like the older guys there are kind of playing that Kobe role, but even less of a Kobe role, right? I think they're more so there to make sure they take gold home. Not so much to take all the playing time and take all the playing minutes. They're just there to be like, all right, look, we're just here to make sure y'all don't lose focus. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not even playing that many minutes. KD's still deciding whether or not he's going to stay or not. You know what I'm saying? Because he got
he might pull a Kawhi.
Yeah, for real. It end up being gone soon. But they were stomping Australia. They were beating. I honestly, I kind of blame Kerr for that. They went entirely too long without calling a timeout or two when they were up 22 points. I kind of understand kind of like letting them just go and letting them kind of figure things out because it is tough when you got literally nothing but superstars playing on a team. But like let's not risk anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they go on a 14-0 run, like, oh, you gotta call a timeout. you
gotta stop that run at some point.
For sure. And then next thing you know, 22-point lead turns into a 5 or 4-point lead. It's like, no, you should have called a timeout 10 points ago. You know what I mean? So I know he got a lot of flack for that. I'm hoping there was a reason for it. You know what I mean? Because it just seemed like were you watching, dog? Were you on the phone or something?
Were you distracted?
Yeah. But yeah, they were stomping them out. And I thought there was no reason for them to come back like that. Not with that team. This is a very, very extremely talented team. But yeah, I think maybe it's a learning opportunity for him, and maybe hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Exactly, like not when you get to the realness, because
for sure,
I want them to go undefeated like the '92 team, like just like stomp everybody. You know,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't want them to leave any, scorched earth mode. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't leave no traces behind.
Exactly. Even the so-called redeem team, I think they beat everyone by an average of like 40 points until they got to the championship against like Spain or whatever.
Yeah,
like everybody getting stomped out.
That's what I want.
You got to remind people. You got to remind everybody like who we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
it's never been more dangerous. There's never been a bigger threats. I feel like to the USA, even though USA obviously has it, but international game keeps growing. They got to plant that flag. So
exactly.
We'll see, but we'll definitely be checking them out as they get closer to Paris. And I think that the Olympics starts at the end of this month. So I don't know when the real medal games type of thing will be going on, but we'll be seeing that pretty soon.
Yeah.
The next topic I wanted to get, saying we're going to be tracking this closely, and it is what it is. A lot of scrutiny and eyes on the kid. Bronny, he made his summer league debut in Vegas now, and still kind of struggling. He said himself that he was in a mini slump. He feels like kind of being a little bit more passive, not being aggressive, and then he's not hitting his shots at all. I think he's 0 for 15 from 3 so far in summer league action. And still, getting some steals and stuff like that here and there, using his athleticism as he can. But He did also mention, though, that he'll accept any role for the Lakers when it comes time to, if he needs to go to the G League or if he's just going to be on the bench or inactive. What are your thoughts so far? I know we're scrutinizing him like he's like the number one pick when he wasn't. He's number 55 overall, but still, your thoughts so far on Bronny?
I mean, I've said like so many things like in regards to Bronny, you know what I mean? But all of them have kind of come down to the fact that I just felt like he should have stayed another year. Like I feel like he didn't get a really good year in college. You know what I mean? Like, bro almost died. You know what I'm saying? And like, luckily for him, he was able to come back. And I know he didn't even play at the beginning of the season. So I don't think he missed too many games. You know what I mean? I think he missed like 6 games, something like that at the beginning.
But he still missed like months and months of training and like
exactly to lead up to it. So I just feel like even though he's still playing amongst like his peers, the guys that he would have been playing like in college, he still didn't get enough time to do it. Because it's like if he's not playing this well now, what do you think is going to happen when he gets to the league and now he's got to be guarded by dudes like my boy Drew Holiday? You know what I'm saying? Like guys like Embiid, like just those top guards and some of those guys, like I don't know, I worry about him. You know what I mean? And it's like I worry about the kid like he's my own son. You know what I'm saying? Like
you want him to do good.
I do. I actually do. Like I actually want him to do good. I just don't think it's possible. Like I really like at no point in time in the G League are you is it good basketball because you're playing against grown men? Like sure, but I just feel like he's still like people underestimate like how well college gets you ready for the league, right? Like I look at a guy a rookie last year who didn't get a lot of say not TV time, but just didn't get a lot of like
exposure,
noticement because of like guys like Wemby, right, and Chet coming in his technically rookie year, right? But the rookie from Miami, dude, like if he was starting on another team somewhere, like the fact that he did like all 4 years in college, essentially, like he's a beast, man. Like dude averaged almost 25 points a game in the games that he stepped in for Jimmy being out, right?
Yeah.
And you look at him at the G League right now. He only played in 2 games. He's no longer going to play in there because they want to make sure he doesn't get hurt. But again, averaged like 25 points a game in those 2 games. He just absolutely scored whenever he wanted to against those guys. Like the time definitely helps, and I just feel like him playing in the league is obviously a dream come true for him. But I feel like LeBron kind of forced it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if he wasn't on his way out in retirement, maybe he doesn't push him to go so early.
Yeah.
If it wasn't LeBron, if it wasn't for LeBron, he probably doesn't get drafted. You know what I'm saying? Like, I truly believe that your first round pick, Connect, that kid's doing fucking good. Like he's hooping. You know what I'm saying? Like I think I feel like
that was the luxury that let them be like, all right, we'll take
for sure.
James.
I think that was a really good play. He's playing really well. Like, dude can play at all levels of the game too. 3-point, inside, and mid range. Like he's a hooper, man. Like, but I just kind of feel bad for Bronny because like he's saying all the right things. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I just feel like when you're watching him out there, like he still looks lost. You know what I mean? Like it's just like. It's not there for him yet, nor should it be. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be there for him yet. But it's one of those things where if this wasn't LeBron James' son, it'd be like how long before he gets cut? How long before he's off the team? How long before? You know what I mean? Like
how many more chances? Yeah,
exactly. But because he's LeBron's kid, he's gonna have all the chances in the world. So I don't know. Like I worry about him. You know what I mean? In the sense of like. He gets all of the attention of a number 1 overall pick. But the funny thing is no one has any expectations for him. He's getting all of these true. But everyone's expectation, like nobody has high expectations for him. They're just kind of like, he's still second rounder. Like we know he's not ready. You know what I'm saying? But he gets the coverage like he is.
Exactly. It does remind me, and we've talked about the whole like Lonzo Ball comparison where it's like everybody like kind of going at him. And it's like kind of similar, like we talked about that with Caitlin Clark. We talked about that with Lonzo Ball. But now it's almost similar like that with Bronny, except for he doesn't have that same type of game to back it up because he's not like a number 1 pick or a top 5 pick,
For sure.
it is going to be tough sledding for him. But I don't know. We'll see. Stephanie Washington, she says, thought they initially said he wasn't going to G League. Now he may. Yeah. So they did. So his, Rich Paul, his agent basically was like, we're not interested in a two-way contract. We don't want him to be in the G League. He's going to be at the NBA level. But now I think looking through it in the development part, and now that he's with the Lakers, they're saying, we're probably going to have to get him some time down there. Yeah. And even like you said, Strizzy, though, even some of the guys that do well in the G League and they show flashes, and even if they dominate the G League, even then when they step to the NBA, it's another adjustment. Seriously. So it's like you at this level, at G League, at Summer League, you got to be like super dominant or really showing what you can do in order for that to even come across to that next level. So we'll see. Unk says, dude can't score. Yeah, he's not, not going to beat that. I guess it's just going to be slasher and defense. Yeah.
I gotta say one thing too. Thinking about the Summer League, Cavs got to trade Imani Bates, bro. That dude's got to be on a roster somewhere, dog. Like, yeah, I get it. He's skinny, but so is KD and so is Ingram, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that dude is he's really, really good, man. Like, that dude's got to be on somebody's roster somewhere. He's just too good to be sitting there killing these dudes in the G League and stuff, bro.
Absolutely, they just don't have space for him. But they're so heavy right now. They got to make some move for that.
Yeah, they got to get him on the roster. He got to be playing.
For sure. I want to welcome Nancy to the show.
What's up, Nancy?
Shout out to Nancy, a big New York sports fan. She'll be rooting on the Jets coming pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? Only a couple weeks away. Appreciate you being on the show, Nancy. I also want to welcome in our boy Anthony Wesson. What's good, brother? They're packed now with practices. And I probably should know, but what are you coaching right now, or what sports going on for you right now? I would love to hear about some updates from your world. He also says Bronny just won a championship in Call of Duty. I had a friend that used to be playing NBA 2K. That's funny. I did see that, and people were obviously using it as like a reason, like, you need to be practicing more. You know what I'm saying? You need to be working harder and not playing video games. But also, it's funny. He's a kid. He's a young kid. So.
Yeah, he's really young, dude. He's really young.
So I'm sure that's why, the youth, like, it really favors for the video games, you know what I'm saying? That it just moves too fast. The older you get, the slower you get regardless. But I think it is pretty funny, though, that he's doing that. Oh, he said, my son is in Taekwondo, son. I'm not coaching right now. Oh, okay. That's what's up. Taekwondo, man. You learn discipline, strength, honor, all that stuff. So that's what's up. Nancy also agrees with you. Strizzy said should have never left college. So yeah.
One more year would have been, I just think it would have been wonders for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just more time. Especially with that time, and you don't have that same spotlight on you. You don't have to grow in front of everybody the same way when you get those reps at that level. So definitely too funny, though. It is crazy, though, that he definitely could have been like a streamer, a YouTuber, like a social media personality. Like, that's what he loves to do. Like, at his, like, with his notoriety, just because of his dad, like, he could be doing a lot of things in the world right now. So I do give him some respect for, like, trying so hard to be at the NBA, because it's really hard. It's not for everybody,
No, for sure. I think too, like, just going back on that, you know what I mean? Like, look about all of the super really good, like, superstars whose sons try to get there and they ended up not making it. You know what I mean? Like, Wade's son, Michael Jordan's son. You know what I mean? Like, those guys, like, all-star superstars, first ballot Hall of Famers. Exactly, Shaq's son. Like, all those guys who just couldn't necessarily get there. And I feel like LeBron's so big at this this stage and just in the NBA, like, it's crazy. Dude's 40 and he's still the face of the league. I think that torch has not been passed yet. You know what I mean? And even the USA guys voted him as still the best player on the team. You know what I mean? So it's like, dude, I have no idea when this dude's going to slow down. I don't think he ever will at this point. It's just going to be when he finally decides to hang it up. It's going to be because he wants to, not because he can't do it no more. So if he was gonna play at least 2 more years, let your son play in college one of those years, and then retire in your son's first year or something. You know what I mean? But I just know for a fact 1 more year at college would have done him wonders.
For sure. It's kind of funny, though. Speaking of this, and Anthony Wesson mentions Keon Anthony, which is Carmelo's son. Yeah. And he's been putting up some crazy stats. He can definitely score. He's more takes off of his father as far as being a scorer. So we'll see we'll see how he does. But also kind of an interesting segue and a sad one. We want to say rest in peace to Joe Jellybean Bryant, Kobe's father. And another one where they had a very different, relationship, but another duo, right? A pair of father and son who both played in the NBA, who both made major contributions to the game. Jellybean, being in the NBA himself, and then also being a coach, and obviously, passing on that love of the game to Kobe. And for all their like interesting relationship, it's still very sad that like they both had their time short a little bit.
Quite short. He's only 69.
Yeah. So rest in peace to him. Definitely a sad situation there, but had to throw that picture of him and Kobe together. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting dynamic when you talk about that whole father-son thing. Because like it's just being on either side of it, it's like you always want to make that person proud. You know what I'm saying? You always want to do what you can, and sometimes like maybe Bronny is chasing a dream that he wants to fulfill to make his father proud more than it is his own dream. But still a lot of hard work nonetheless. I'm still definitely rooting for him. So we'll see how it goes. We'll continue to monitor that. Next up, what do we got next up? Next up, I do want to talk about college football. So if you got the deluxe edition or you had the early EA pass, it already started dropping. I think it was last night. I think people could start downloading it. I did not do either, but I think I am going to go ahead and grab it on Friday. But the reviews are coming out. A lot of interesting, funny stuff. Patrick Mahomes actually, he brought in a TV and brought copies of the game in during training camp so they can all play together. But Anthony Weston, he's already got it. He said he was fire, so worth it. Just even for nostalgia's sake, I just feel like I kind of have to get it. So Nancy, great comment here. I'm calling it now. Bryce will be better than Bronny. I definitely agree.
Yeah, I completely agree with that too.
He has a better chance to make it in the NBA and a more natural chance just on his own accord.
Exactly.
And it's usually not the oldest for whatever reason too. When we've seen like families, like brothers of
the Ball brothers.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's usually like the youngest or the middle that's like ends up being the best. So
he's just naturally better. I mean, even in high school, right? Like we talk about who's averaging more points a game. Like Bryce is just actually better than Bronny is. And another guy to be on the lookout for is Gilbert Arenas' son. His son actually is really, really good too. I think Carmelo Anthony's son is definitely going to be first. He's next up in my opinion, and then it's going to be Gilbert Arenas' son, and then Bryce right after him. So watch out for all of those guys. They're coming. They're going to be really, really good.
It definitely makes us feel old though, for sure, right? When we see like generations of it, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, we were seeing their pops, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang. Pop says bums, neither will be good pros. We'll see. Nancy says NBA's in good hands, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And especially between these other guys, Anthony Edwards and Luka and all this, it's just interesting to see who's gonna be the new face. I feel like it's gonna maybe be Luka. Like, I don't know. Like, who's the biggest? Like, we'll have to debate that. Like, who's the best chance to like really take the torch from LeBron? Or is it even LeBron's torch anymore? I don't know. But I feel like it's still kind of him. I feel like Giannis had a chance to snatch it, but not really.
I feel like he kind of fell short the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see who's it going to be. Is it going to be Edwards? Is it going to be Luka? I
think it's really between Luka and Ant. I think it's between them two that are battle out for it. I feel like Jason Tatum can't do it just because he just got outshined by his counterpart. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be difficult to do that. You know what I mean? But I think it's Luka for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking Luka too. Anthony West says most marketable. I think the only thing that Ant has going for him is because we're kind of like narrow-minded in the U.S. I feel like the fact that Ant is American, he has a better chance to kind of like take that spot. So he's got the inside track for me, even though that's just kind of how like we limit ourselves in a way. But I feel like if you're just going based off of like trajectory, like Luka, I mean, he came in balling like straight off the bat. Balling.
Yeah, it's funny. Pops' comment, I actually agree with. As far as Carmelo goes, I think his son has. I feel like his game is a little bit more. He's got a little bit more range. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. I've always kind of felt Carmelo was a little overrated too.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like he was like a smidge above, but I feel like he's very similar to those players where it's like Denver, it was everything. You were that man. You could
Yeah.
score like crazy. And also, like, the franchise never had anything like you. So you're going to be put up on the pedestal, you know?
Yeah.
When you go somewhere else, and especially when you go to the Knicks, which is like the mecca of basketball, right? When you go to you have to go there and win. You have to go there and continue to be that dominant. Obviously, he could always score, and he had that knack. But when you talk about like just being the number one dog and like unquestioned, yeah, you can do that in Denver, but it's not the same in other places.
Yeah.
And like if he would have had his whole career in Denver, even though it's just weird to think about it like that, like he probably would have even been more heralded or like been higher up on our rankings just because of like, okay, he was in Denver type of thing.
Yep. I think if he would have gone somewhere and could have been like earlier in his career and would have been able to be the second or even third option, I think he would have been better off. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like Anthony just puts up like Olympic Melo. When Olympic Melo was in Olympics, and he could kind of play behind LeBron, Kobe, and even D Wade. Like he was one of their leading scorers between him and Wade. You know what I mean? And Wade was coming off the bench. You know what I mean? Like, but because the thing is he was only a scorer. Like when it came to getting the bucket, like he was great. But I just felt like at any point in time, like he could have been a much better passer because he demanded some double teams. He was a bully down there, So, but he didn't care. He was like, look, if y'all gonna break three, I'm gonna score on three.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
I just felt like for some reason, like he like you said, big, in a market like Denver, but you know what I mean? Like even in Denver, like if you can look at somebody like Joker is kind of doing the same thing, but he won one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so that makes it even bigger because he actually got it done there.
Right.
But yeah, you go to New York and it's like that's where you're from. You know what I mean? Like if there was any spot for you to be to get them back to the playoffs and have some successful playoff, and he wasn't even successful there either. You know what I mean? No real playoff success there either. So
yeah,
kind of hard to watch.
Yeah, I feel it. Unc says, I was watching Sean Kemp highlights earlier. Shame his career didn't flourish. Yeah, Sean Kemp was a monster.
Yeah,
Sean Kemp was an absolute beast. All right, let's keep it moving. College football. So in honor of the game coming out, I feel like we were going to look at the way too early updated college football top 25 going into the season. Now, of course, there's going to be some changes, and this is not the first official ESPN or AP top 25, or coaches poll. But early on, they got Georgia in the top spot, followed by Ohio State, Oregon's got some players, and they got Dylan Gabriel, which he's a monster now, and Texas and Notre Dame. Unc asked Riley Leonard from Duke any good, and I think he actually transferred to Notre Dame though. I don't think he's going to be that good, but he's going to have a good team around him. So I don't know. We'll see. But I don't know. Notre Dame is always kind of tricky because they don't play a great schedule. Like I think this year they play Army and Navy. They play USC every year, which is awesome, but they don't have like a big one. But I feel like Notre Dame for sure is going to end up in that playoff now that there's going to be the expanded playoff field. So we'll just have to prepare for that. Yeah, Alex said, why is Notre Dame ranked? They're good. They're going to make it in there. Anthony wasn't MIZ. Got to shout back that ZOU. I think they're going to have a really great year. I feel like the only thing that's tricky for them is they're in the SEC, and that's just tough sledding because you have to play the best teams. But I think that they're going to make it in the playoff as well. So we'll see. My big question going into the year: how is Alabama going to bounce back without the Godfather and Nick Saban? But any teams you're interested in kind of checking out or watching? I know you got your Sooners way down there. I feel like they're lower than they probably have been in a long time starting off the year.
No, 100%. But I think it kind of makes sense. I feel like they've kind of really fallen off in grace over the last couple of years. Like I think they're still trying to like kind of find that identity. You know what I mean? It's Lincoln Riley was such an offensive he's always been an offensive monster, but just always lets defense slide, and that was their biggest problem. You can have all the Heisman Trophy winners all you want to, but it doesn't matter if you don't have a defense to keep other teams from scoring as well.
Yeah.
And right now, we're supposed to have a more defensive-minded coach, but now we're really, really lacking on offense, and we can't score as well. So I'm not that surprised, honestly. I'm glad we're there. We'll have an opportunity to win some games.
But now in the SEC too.
Exactly. So I feel like until they figure some things out, I don't think we're gonna figure some things out before we get better. You know what I mean? And I'm not too surprised at that. Michigan, that's kind of crazy. They feel hard, but kind of makes sense. Lost their coach, lost their quarterback.
Right. A lot of their key pieces from that run, and Nancy mentions that too. Now that their coach is gone, let's see how they do.
Exactly. And I think the Nittany Lions, I think that one kind of surprised me a little bit. They're all the way up there at 8th, starting off. You know what I mean? So I thought that was surprising. So kind of interested to kind of see how they're going to play too. They're already all the way up at 8, and then Bama, of course, never been a Bama real fan, but the respect has always been there. And but I think what their coach did with Washington, I'm curious to see what he can do with a program like Bama. So yeah, we'll see. They should bounce back and be pretty damn good.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch. Penn State, they're always ranked high at the beginning of the year for whatever reason. They have some kind of mystique there too that always keeps them up there pretty high. But But yeah, I think. But is that crazy? Wait, is USC not even on?
I was looking for him too. I was like, I don't see them in here. Like they're for real. They're not ranked at all. That's crazy.
That's crazy. I don't know. We'll see. But I guess not so far. But again, this is the way too early, and I'm sure it'll be updated after because now transfer portals and different things that happen over the summer. And I think this one was like earlier, like in April or something, like closer towards the end of the season. So we'll see. Nancy says, how do you guys feel about Colorado? I'm excited for them in year 2 now. They came bursting onto the scene last year. Obviously, the hype is real with Coach Prime. And I really love the way he carries himself. But we always, for me at least, I expected it to be a multi-year thing. Like I didn't expect anything too much. So they almost got out ahead of themselves. And maybe they set the bar too high. I feel like if they would have slowly rebuilt, but I'm watching them. I'm kind of rooting for them. They'll be in the Big 12 this year, so that'll be a whole different kind of ball game for them too. Mm-hmm. But, definitely fun to watch. And Sanders, Shedeur is pretty high up on the projected NFL rankings for quarterbacks next year. So we'll see how this year translates. Yeah,
number 1, and maybe I forgot about them because they're not on here, but I was really kind of thinking about it. Like they're a team I really want to watch. The first year they're over under for wins. It's only 3.5. They were only expected to win 4 games. This year it's only 5.5. It's only gone up 1 or something like that. So I'm curious to kind of see how much better they've gotten. I don't think their offensive line has gotten much better. You know what I mean? So that was a really big deal last year. And with Sanders and Shedeur, with him being the number 1, projected number 1 prospect for next year's draft, I need to see more out of him too. You know what I mean? He's got to grow a lot for me because I didn't see enough for him to be the number 1 pick for this upcoming season. You know what I'm saying? I guess I got to look at some other quarterbacks too, but you're not going to, NFL is going to be a lot different. So that style of play ain't going to work. You know what I mean? Like in the NFL. So I'm very curious to see how he does. Again, another kid who I hope does well. You know what I mean? It's hard when your dad is so iconic. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I hope they do a lot better this upcoming year, and he just going to show I know last year wasn't a great year for us or even for him, but I'll be better this year.
Yeah. We'll see how that improvement. Like you said, they're only kind of projected 1 more game than last year, so they're definitely not catching anybody by surprise this time around. And also, though, Shedeur, another one though, it's kind of hard to be. Well, I guess this is different for everybody else, but it's kind of hard to be that motivated to work that hard. Some of these guys, they'd be nitty gritty. They're just eating at the college campuses. They're trying to get that paycheck. Now they're pulling up to practices Bentleys and stuff. They're already paid. So I think it's harder. I think it really does separate those that want to be winners. And in the past, you'd see people I'm trying to feed my family.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a whole different one. Nancy says, does Hunter play both ways in the NFL? No, he's going to have to choose.
Yeah, I said that last week. He needs to figure it out. He needs to figure it out what he wants to do.
I think he has a better chance as a corner. Just stick with it,
Big time.
And if you do that and you do that well, you make it on the team, then you can get some punt return. They might make you a special little package for offense where you go in for a couple plays here and there.
Yeah.
Kind of like Dion, but 2-way full-time is just too much.
Exactly. Who better to learn from too? Just go full-time cornerback. You were so good at it, and going both ways is what got you hurt in the first place.
True.
And that's literally what got you hurt in the first place. And you saw it, man. End of the season, he was drained, bro.
Yeah.
Like dude was he started getting beat. Yeah, it's just too much.
He's playing like 200, like 190 plays or something. Like he was playing like every play of the game. It's crazy.
Dude, high school was not a big deal. I was a two-way starter in high school. I played every single play. I never left the field. Every special teams, it's not that big of a deal. College, big deal. NFL, there's no way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not today's NFL. Not today's NFL.
Yeah, for sure. Mom said we all dislike Notre Dame.
I know.
Except for my boy Springfield. Shout out to Springfield. He's Notre Dame through and through, ride or die. Yeah. So he keeps Notre Dame alive for us on the show, but everybody else definitely dislikes. Number 18 is the NC State Wolfpack, and then you got number 19 Clemson. Yeah. So I don't know why I said number 19 Clemson, but yeah, 18 is NC State Wolfpack. One interesting thing about I did want to mention this. Kirby Smart and Georgia landed another recruit for next year. He is 6'11", 335-pound offensive tackle, and he's actually switching from basketball to football. He was actually AAU teammates with some of the guys coming up, and he was actually eligible to be drafted in the NBA draft a couple weeks ago. But as soon as he was playing for Overtime Elite, I believe it was, and so as soon as that kind of fell through, he's like, all right, let me go ahead and do this. He said it was always kind of a dream for his to play football, so he's going to be more of like a developmental candidate for this year, maybe play a little bit here and there, but I think that would be pretty cool, man. 6'11". 6'11". So as soon as at signing, he became the tallest college football player in the NCAA. Yeah. 6'11", 335. That'll be pretty crazy, especially
wingspan got to be crazy.
Exactly.
Wingspan got to be crazy.
As a tackle, especially if you get that development, and UGA has a lot of big boys, but he's the type like he's gonna be the first one off the bus. Like, watch out, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, we're getting behind him. That's that intimidator. So
yeah, for sure.
So that'll be pretty interesting though to see how he develops. And I hope it becomes more than just a cool story. I hope he just gets out there and dominates because he's looking to try to, be drafted in the NFL draft. And it'll be crazy to see like, okay, he didn't get drafted in the NBA, switch up, go a couple of years and play football and maybe make it to the NFL. So
and he's going to come in with good feet too. You know what I mean? Like you're going to have to play basketball. So I don't know, man. He can be a beast for y'all.
Well, I'm hoping that'll be super dope. That'll be super dope. All right, a couple more stories real quick. We've got to talk about the Copa America. So there was some good soccer on. There was the Euro Championship, actually, and then also Copa America. And this was the big one, though, Argentina versus Colombia in Miami, which is like crazy setting, crazy scene. And actually, the game had to end up being delayed over an hour and a half because at the beginning of the night, like when they were like opening the gates and starting to let people into the concourses, a group or like a bunch of fans, unticketed fans, rushed into the stadium, and it was creating like some crazy scenes actually, and they were scared that there could be potentially a crush, and they ended up having to just basically open the gates. But people were climbing the fences, climbing the concourses. We saw video of people going up into the AC vents, trying to get from the outside, trying to crawl through them to get to the inside of the stadium. Definitely a crazy scene there. But wow. I'm glad it all got worked out. But yeah, so the game was supposed to start at like 8 p.m. and ended up starting like 9:20 p.m. and going till midnight almost. So definitely soccer fans, as Nancy says, some of the wildest fans in sports, some of the most passionate. These people were like, look, they can't arrest us all.
Yeah, we can't what they said.
And we can't afford these tickets. So we going in there because like the tickets were like apparently like exorbitant prices, like over $1,000 to get in the building. But these people were like, no, we going in there. You can't stop us. It's crazy, but at one point they actually just ended up opening the gates and just letting people come through, and they're like, we'll just have to figure this out later because it was just too dangerous of a scene, people forcing their way in.
Yep.
And it's crazy because this is the same stadium, right, that the Dolphins play in. So it's not like it's a stadium they don't know about crowds at all. Yeah. But obviously that soccer crowd is a different flavor than your normal, tailgaters coming into this to see the Dolphins play. So, yeah, some tickets, apparently these center line tickets, midfield tickets had gone for $40,000, some of the closer tickets. Insane to see Messi play and to see Argentina bring home their third straight, European championship. So when it comes to world soccer, Argentina is the best out there. But yeah, scary scenes, man. It's like I would be nervous to even try to go, or just show up late,
Facts.
It's like, dang. But yeah, some of those people, that was pretty crazy that they were just out there like that, and they were just like, we're going in. So all right, let's run through one more topic real quick. NFL talk. Brandon Ayuk now officially, we've been going back and forth. He unfollowed the 49ers. They don't want me, dog. You know what I'm saying? He said all that, and now he's officially requested a trade. What do you think about this saga? And do you think the 49ers just need to wash their hands of it now and just get it over with? Or what would you do if you were them?
Yeah, I think I said this a couple of weeks ago. I said they're going to trade him. I said they're going to hold out. And they drafted 2 receivers, 2 really good ones that basically play the same role he plays. You know what I mean? And I just had this feeling that they weren't going to. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where they're really good at playing with what they have. Like they can make damn near anybody look good out there. You know what I mean? That's the kind of offense the 49ers have had for the last couple of years. And you know what I mean? Like you still got Debo. You drafted some really good guys. You obviously have Christian McCaffrey.
And you got your boy, the tight end, Kittle.
Yeah, exactly. George Kittle's, I got him. That's my dog. And, he's been rejuvenated ever since, the quarterback switch, with Jimmy G leaving. Because I felt like it was like Kittle's about to retire early if Jimmy G can't get the man the ball. He disappeared, man. He went from having like one of the best tight end seasons ever to just completely disappeared until Purdy took over. So I feel like in their minds, they're like, it sucks to see him go, but we're going to be all right without you. You know what I mean? And I think because of the seasons that the season and a half that he had also with Purdy, because you look at it, he's one of Purdy's favorite targets. You know what I mean? Like when Purdy took over, I hate to say, like when Purdy took over, the offense just took a jump. You know what I mean? Like everybody just
definitely next level.
Right, exactly. So his trade stock is high. You know what I mean? So they could probably get a couple of first round picks for him, maybe get some players back for him, and in his stead. But I think they'll be able to get something really good back for him. And there are some teams out there that are desperately looking for receivers. My Panthers are one of them. Buffalo definitely one. Like Unc said, like I think that's a big one too. They're definitely in a need, and they drafted a pretty decent wide receiver, and I think Brandon Ayuk would be a really good kind of a veteran receiver for Josh Allen. I know we're worried about them not having any receivers at all, but that would definitely help them out. You know what I'm saying? So, and then too, like I heard, I don't know how much money they got. Ant probably has a better, Ant probably has a better, Kansas City too. I think Kansas City too would be like, if they could go out and get just the number one guy like that, I think that'd be crazy. You know what I mean? I think that'd be insane. So he's definitely going to have options, just kind of see what teams have for him. But I kind of called this. I had a feeling that they weren't gonna re-sign him.
Yeah,
he wasn't gonna get the money that he wanted from 49ers. That's for sure.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I like these comments to maybe Buffalo, maybe Baltimore, Kansas City. That'll be very interesting. And especially because this late in the off season, you don't have a lot of chances to get, potential difference makers like this usually, most teams are pretty much squared up and they know what they're going to be having. And you don't really see big movement until after people get hurt or, different things like that mid-season. But Nancy, she says we'll be okay without him. They will be okay without him. You might as well get what you can for him. And this is like one of those where I'm kind of weary, like, it might be like a be careful what you wish for type of thing, because you're in a high-powered offense and you're with a really good coach. You're with a team that has talent at all levels to where defenses can't really focus in on you. You end up somewhere else where you got to be that guy and they know you're that guy. Yep. Are you that good? Kind of like Adams, like when he went to the Vegas, like they're like, we don't even know who our quarterback's going to be, but he still balled out, right?
Right.
Is he that type of talent where no matter where you go, what situation, you just got to do your thing?
Exactly.
I don't know, man, because the grass might seem greener on the other side, but he might go somewhere and probably even wherever he goes, he probably have a poor or a down statistical year.
49ers are phenomenal. In my opinion, they're up there with Kansas City in regards to getting their players open. You know what I mean? Like, the offensive coordinator side on that, and obviously the head coach too. You know what I mean? Like they're really, really good at getting guys open, putting guys in spots where, they confuse the defense where like anybody can get open, right?
Open.
You just go where you're supposed to be, like you're going to be open, and that's why Brock Purdy is also flourished. You know what I mean? Like I really love what he's done there, but I can't honestly say that he would be the same quarterback if he went somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you put him on the Panthers right now, is he going to struggle the same way Bryce did? Most likely, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So the 49ers are just really, really good at that in regards to just getting their players open. So you're right, man. The grass, it ain't always greener, dog. Like, it's always greener.
Be careful what you wish for. Yeah, that's it. Can he be a number one option in another team that doesn't have as many weapons? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anthony Weston says the Commanders. He played with Jaden at ASU, and I think that would be like borderline tampering based on like them publicizing their FaceTimes and all that stuff. But he could end up with the Commanders too. But again, it's like the Commanders was one of those places like before where it's like McLaurin, like Scary Terry, he was like holding it down with like whoever they put out there. Like you got to be a different type of beast if like everybody knows you're the offensive option and you still ball out. So we'll see.
It wouldn't be a bad second option though. You know what I mean? Like to have Brandon Ayuk on the other side of Terry McLaurin.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Definitely go somewhere though where you don't have to be that number one because technically he's not even now. So
yeah, exactly.
All right, that's what's up. We're gonna get ready to wrap things up. I think one other thing was interesting. Terrell Davis, and I just saw this story. I just kind of read a little bit about it, but he was actually arrested at the end of a United flight. He was on this flight, and I guess he was like asking the stewardess to like get water for his son. He was on the flight with like his 2 kids and his wife, and he like she ignored him, and he tapped her on the shoulder, and she like flipped out and was like, "Don't hit me, and like they didn't interact for the rest of the flight. And then when they landed, they had officers come on and arrest him and take him off the flight. Very interesting story here. I'm kind of interested to see what happens with that. But Terrell Davis, always like a really nice guy, stand-up guy.
Yeah, for sure.
About how there was like confusion even amongst the other people, the other passengers on the plane as to like what exactly had happened to warrant this. Very interesting, but he talked about, kind of being embarrassed in front of his family and like having no reason why he should have been dragged off the flight like that. Apparently the flight attendant has been suspended, which I don't exactly understand. And we don't know why she's been suspended at this point. But just one of those weird things that seem to happen every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? You never really know what's going on or what situation. Obviously, there's 3 sides to every story. Both sides, and then the truth somewhere in the middle usually. But I'll be interested to see what kind of comes out of that situation. But Terrell Davis, that's my boy, Georgia boy, great guy, back-to-back Super Bowl champion. He delivered John Elway those Super Bowl champions.
Facts, dog. Facts,
so always mad respect. Yeah. So. But yeah, and then with that being said, 15 more days, but who's counting until the Hall of Fame game when football officially starts off. So get ready for that. We'll be having to get our schedule predictions in there somewhere. We'll make it happen, and we'll also be going live with our 2 shows a week. Once football season officially kicks off. But the countdown is on, and as always, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. Only other thing, Wimbledon ended. Shout out to Alcaraz. 4 Grand Slams under the age of 22, which is historic. So he's just on an incredible path, man. He's going to be a really good tennis player for a long time, but shout out to him as well.
So dominant, man. I think he won straight sets, didn't he?
Yeah, he put yeah, and you're talking about somebody who in Novak Djokovic, who if he would have won, would have been the all-time Grand Slam leader of all time.
Yeah.
And you take him out like that.
Yeah,
that's saying something for the young kid there. So shout out to him. And it looks like we got our new dominant men's tennis player for the foreseeable future. All right, that's what's up. All-Star festivities for the WNBA also this weekend. You guys check that out. We still have to figure out if we're going to be able to make it out to that or not. But either way, we'll be definitely talking about that next week. And as always, we appreciate you rocking with us. And shout out to our brother, Mad Marcus. We're with you, fam, all the time. We love you very much and appreciate your support and helping us make this show happen. That was episode 255 of Say Like a Champ. It's your boy, A-Dub.
Hey, boy, Strizzy.
Peace.